Don't see it. Where is it?
Hasn't
Okay, it
started yet.
started. Oh, it just started.
Okay, cool. Yay!
I'm like refreshing and I don't see it.
Yeah, same.
It's live. Hello.
Yeah, it just
Okay.
started.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's get started. Is that right? Alrighty, friends. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sunrise Howard County Earth Day live stream. We have many amazing performers, speakers, and art showcasings and videos prepared for today. First, I'd like to take a moment to explain what Earth Day Live is and what the purpose of bringing everyone together is. So 50 years ago, on this day, 20 million people striked in the streets fighting against environmental destruction. And as a result of that massive movement, many acts were signed, promising the start of a healthier, less polluted future. And the only problem is that future hasn't come. So now, half a century later, we're coming together again virtually to fight for the same thing. We demand people's bailout, a Green New Deal, and land back for Indigenous peoples. People's bailout focuses most on the current problem of employment caused by COVID-19. Many are suffering, and we demand that the government provide their economic needs. After immediate relief on suffering, we want the government to send our country on a path towards sustainability instead of pollution. So to do this, we present the Green New Deal, a vision to put our country back to work while solving climate change and ensuring justice for frontline communities. Time is running out until our climate change will be irreversible, so we need this now. Finally, we would like our government to acknowledge the rights of Indigenous tribes and give their sacred land back before it becomes polluted forever. So we are fighting for change against the climate crisis. Above all, we are fighting for a better now and a better future. So over the next hour, we will have youth speakers and performers on this live stream. Each of us has been affected in our own ways by the climate crisis, and they all have important perspectives that we would like to share. So first up, we have Gabrielle Zwie performing original song, See the Change. Jolie, can you unmute yourself? And restart?
Jolie, the sound still isn't working.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Jolie, can you pause the video? No, we can't hear any of it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the computer sound isn't on, so
I will
maybe
just do it.
Jolie.
Just let me do it. It'll be better.
Okay.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. So sorry for the extreme technical difficulties. We will hope that this will hopefully be better. Please tell me if this works. Is it working? We are people, helping people, not just it's working? Yes! Yes, go, Gabrielle. This song's amazing. Advocating for the changes in this world, well aware of what's right, a message in the words we say. Sometimes we stop and think, why are we doing what we do? Maybe we just need a new and different point of view. It's like we don't even see the change, microscopic day by day. Take the chance to turn away, step back, look at the world to see the difference that you made. So let's lead the way, start a worldwide relay, where reactions in a chain. Speak out, let your voice be heard, tell them what you got to say. We are people, no, we're more than people. We are part of something stronger, something bigger than ourselves, motivated by our talents and our passions. What we do makes who we are, and we do all we can to help. Sometimes we stop and think, why are we doing what we do? Maybe we just need a new and different point of view. It's like we don't even see the change, microscopic day by day. Take the chance, turn away, step back, look at the world to see the difference that you made. So let's lead the way, start a worldwide relay, where reactions in a chain. Speak out, let your voice be heard, tell them what you got to say. Starts with the small things, one little act of kindness, amplified, see what you're doing. Feel the love you feel, the joy you feel, this night. And when you look at the bigger picture, repair the world, repair the world. It's like we don't even see the change, microscopic day by day. Take the chance to turn away, step back, look at the world to see the difference that you made. So let's lead the way, start a worldwide relay, where reactions in a chain. Speak out, let your voice be heard, tell them what you got to say. So let's be the change. Woo! I think we can all give that an amazing round of applause because that song is just super inspiring and beautifully sung. So yeah, amazing, Gabrielle. Yeah, so next up we have an art submission from Isabel Marcus. Isabel Marcus is 15, attends River Hill High School, and channels her activism through art, creating pieces such as London Beach to demonstrate the effects of ignorance towards global warming and climate change. And so London Beach is an acrylic on canvas painting that I will show in a second, depicting a dystopian future where the city of London, presently landlocked, is halfway underwater due to rising sea levels. So to honor Earth Day's 50th anniversary, the scene is presented with a brilliant sunset, reminding us that Earth's beauty carries on and we must preserve it. Yeah.
So yeah, this is what Isabel Marcus submitted. I have to say that's an amazing painting and really does demonstrate what our future could be if we do not act. Yeah. Next up, we have another amazing art piece from Sarika Kapedia, a junior at Centennial High School who submitted a piece called Together Round the Trunk, which is an acrylic painting done on recyclables and old school papers. And the message for the audience is that art can be made from anything, which is what, and sometimes what it is made of speaks more of the art piece than the medium itself. So as an artist who tries to be as environmentally eco-conscious as possible, try to encourage artists to repaint canvases, use safe paint, and encourage others to join the fight to save the earth. So here's a time lapse of this beautiful video.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. Here.
Alrighty, everyone. I think that we all have to agree that that time-lapse video was so aesthetic and beautifully well done. So next up, we have Maggie Ju, who created this video. And Maggie Ju is a junior at Centennial High School who is excited to be a newly elected political co-lead for Sunrise HOCO. And so for Earth Day Live, she's created a short video about how climate change ties in with the Ellicott City floods.
If you've been living in Ellicott City, Maryland for a while, chances are you've taken a stroll around Centennial Lake to appreciate the scenic views. You've probably gone down to the Patapsco River. Maybe you've even gone tubing there. But no matter where you visited, you're definitely familiar with the catastrophic flooding that Old Ellicott City has faced in the past few years. The July 2016 flood killed 2 and wrecked Main Street, the historic district serving as a collection of shops, museums, and restaurants. 19 businesses did not return, and 151 jobs were lost. That year, county revenue declined by $1.3 million. Nevertheless, the community worked hard to restore the heart of Ellicott City, only to be dealt yet another crushing blow 2 years later. On May 27, 2018, 8.4 inches of rain poured down on historic Main Street and the area flooded again. Coupled with asphalt-heavy overdevelopment, this event, dubbed a once-in-a-thousand-years flood, devastated Old Ellicott City a second time in the span of 3 years. So how is this relevant to Earth Day? Historically, flooding on Main Street had occurred because of the rising levels of the Patapsco River at the base of the town. However, the 2016 and 2018 floods came from the overwhelmed Hudson and Tiber tributaries rushing down. According to the National Climate Assessment, global warming causes heavier downpours, and heavy rainfall has increased by 71% since 1958. In fact, Slate postulates that heavy rains, not rising seas, may be the earliest severe consequence of climate change. County initiatives are underway to improve the infrastructure of Old Ellicott City so it is not so flood-prone. But what research has shown us is that the cause of these floods has yet to be eliminated. Old Ellicott City has borne the brunt of the effects of climate change in Howard County. 3 lives have been lost in the past 2 floods. We need the Howard County government to address the Old Ellicott City disasters as what they are, part of the climate emergency. If we want to ensure that nothing like this occurs ever again in Old Ellicott City or elsewhere, we will need to fight to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, which primarily come from the sectors of electricity and heat production, agriculture, and industry. In the news, we usually see climate change as desertification or melting icebergs, but we may not realize that its effects are being felt right at home.
Woo. Yeah, okay. I think that this was an amazing video, y'all. Yeah, it was so well made and very informative. So shout out to Maggie for creating this amazing video. Let me just exit. Alrighty. So up next we have myself. Hi. So I'm Iris Zan. I'm 16. I'm a sophomore at Riverhill, and I'm a co-founder of Sunrise HOCO. And after Earth Day, I'll be serving as the Jedi and trainings lead. And yeah, so the song that I'll be showing is What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong, played on my classical guitar.
Iris, you're on mute.
Alrighty, friends. So that was a wonderful world. Hope you all enjoyed. Next up, we have Ariama, who will take it away. Yeah.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Aria Ma, and I am a junior at Centennial High School. I'm a student legislative volunteer for the Sierra Club, member of the steering committee for the Climate Ambassadors of Howard County Conservancy, and the founder of Green Club at Centennial High. Today I'll be discussing my painting, Connected Worlds, and the importance of coral reef conservation as it pertains to our larger ecosystem here on Earth. Coral reefs provide life and prosperity for millions of species around the world and make up the base of the natural food chain. Climate change contributed by humans have effectively heated the oceans, destroying and bleaching the coral reef ecosystem. And what happens to these beautiful animals, and yes, they are considered animals because of their dependency on other organisms for food, what happens is that these corals become bleached, and square meters of what used to be colorful, lively neighborhoods of more than 1 million species become a desolate region of death. NASA has found that more than 30% of coral reefs across Earth have died, and at least another 30% are at risk of extinction in the next 30 years. When these coral reefs die, so do the millions of species that live in the ecosystem as well. When these corals die, so does our ecosystem as well. And when these corals die, it's not humans that are largely affected directly, but the animals. And these animals are essential in maintaining a sustainable ecosystem on Earth. It's not a matter of if these corals die, it's a matter of when, because it's already happening, but there is still time. There's still time to reduce the human carbon footprint and cool the oceans down before the bleaching damage is irreversible. There is a span of time after corals bleach that will allow the damage to be reversible if the ocean temperature allows it. And no matter how many people try to deny the fact that humans are not part of the Earth ecosystem, no matter how many people deny the fact that climate change is not occurring, no matter how ignorant some people choose to stay, they have no ability to change reality nor escape it. Because the truth of the matter is that when an ecosystem dies, some parts of humanity need to adapt as well. For coral reefs, when the sea life is disappear, the food chain is disrupted, and for those whose lives depend on species with populations dropping at an alarming rate, well, their lives are disrupted too. Some people have to move to a different place to find new employment. Some people starve. Some people's lives are upended because of the actions of others and not themselves. Ultimately, it is the people who are sustainable and responsible who suffer the most. This piece called Connected Worlds is an acrylic piece on canvas depicting the human role in maintaining a healthy Earth. I painted this piece last week after watching an inspirational documentary called Chasing Coral. The concept of humans contributing the most to climate change is personified through the warm red corals wrapping around the human body, but as it reaches the hands, they turn blue, signifying the cooling of the Earth. And where the blue corals reach the hands, these are the regions of the coral that the damage is reversed. The damage from bleaching is reversed back to the colorful, lively beauty that covers less than 1% of the lands on the ocean floor, but make up one of the largest ecosystems and one of the most important ecosystems on Earth. And only the parts of the coral touched by the cooler hands can be healthy again, because only we humans have the ability to cool the oceans. It's not other animals, whether it's land animals or sea animals. They are not the ones contributing to climate change. It is us. It is our actions. And many people choose to stay ignorant of that and choose to stay unaware of the fact that our world is dying. And we have the ability to change that. Animal life depends on the actions of humans, as they can only watch and wait until we choose to take responsibility for our actions, as depicted here by the various species that can be found in coral reef ecosystems, because they can really only just watch. And they're unaware of what is happening, and they have no ability to adapt because the warming of our waters is happening so drastically fast. And the health of the ocean and the life of humans are connected. So I painted umbilical cords that connect to the base of the coral, because if anything, the base of human life comes from the ocean, and a healthy ocean means a healthier humanity. Without a healthy Earth, the condition of living will deteriorate rapidly, as it already is for millions, if not more than 1 billion people that share this planet with us. There's still time to reverse our catastrophic actions. The ocean is often out of sight, out of mind, because we see it as this vast entity of infinite pools of water, but it's not. It's, if anything, very finite. And even though many of us are landlocked and don't see it every day, there's a large possibility of cities on the coast or near the coast becoming eventually enveloped in water, because our actions result in the melting of glaciers, icebergs, and eventually warming the waters of the Earth and increasing the volume of water that is in our oceans. There's still time, but not enough time. Not if we don't take drastic action now. It's not too late for healthy oceans and a healthy humanity. And it's time for us to take responsibility for our actions and start living a more sustainable life. Thank you.
Yay. Y'all, let's give some snaps. Claps. That was amazing. Well said. Amazing painting. Yes. Alrighty, everyone. So now we're gonna move on to another art showcase. Ooh. From Amy Connor, who is a fine artist and chemistry teacher in Howard County. Having studied fine art at the University of Florida and biochemistry at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, her work blends elements of realism, abstraction, illustration, experimentation, to create unique spaces for her own artistic expression. Her work is often inspired by nature with narrative references to folklore and fairy tales woven into her paintings. And so her work is a celebration of our natural ecosystem, a biography of plants through the seasons of the ever-changing Maryland landscape. Yeah, so these are beautiful. We love seeing multiple works of beautiful art. Yeah. So now, up next, we have amazing musician Ella Jacobs, 16, and goes to Blake High School. I will let Ella take it away for us.
Sorry. Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. And a huge shout out to the previous performers and artists. The artwork was completely amazing. I'm 16. I'm from Silver Spring, Maryland, and I've been striking for climate action with Fridays for Future DC for almost a year now. Thank you for Sunrise Hoko for hosting this. I'm going to be playing the song called Be the Change that I wrote about climate justice and why it's so important that everyone take action and that we get to decide what kind of world we want to leave behind for our children.
Amazing doll.
What do you want to leave behind? What are we gonna be remembered for at the end of our lives? We only have one world and its future is at stake. So we have to make a change. It's getting harder and it's not a for today. Plastics filling oceans and they're rising while we wait. Storms, fires, and floods all seem more common every day. It's the world that we've created and the messes that we've made. What do you want to leave behind? What are we gonna be remembered for at the end of our lives? We only have one world and its future is at stake. So we have to make a change. Are you just one person? It's so easy to feel small. But each one of my actions has an impact on us all. If we can fight together, change won't take too long. Alone we may be quiet, but together we are strong. What do you want to leave behind? What are we gonna be remembered for at the end of our lives? We own and its future is at stake. So we have to make a change. Stand up for the air you breathe. Stand up for the swaying trees. Stand up when you're on your knees. The sun will rise and we'll be free. Stand up so the truth is known. This fake news has got to go. The climate change is all too real. Stand up so the earth can heal. What do you want to leave behind? What are we gonna protect for our grandchildren's lives? We'll share one world and its future is at stake. So we have to change. We have to be the change. Thank you so much.
Oh, everyone give Ella some claps and snaps, y'all. That was amazing. Yeah, I hope you all were very inspired by that. Yay. So next up, we have Luke Karen, who will deliver a speech. I'm gonna let Luke take it away.
Hello all. My name is Luke G. Karen. I attend both Northwood High School and Montgomery College, and I am a 17-year-old climate activist based in Washington, D.C. and Silver Spring, Maryland. On the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, I have a speech prepared for you all. I am speaking to you all today because something bad has happened. My mother is going to die. She is a heavy smoker. The specialist discovered lung cancer a little while back. We said to her, "You can fight this. Don't give up hope." But her cancer metastasized. It metastasized to her skin. Don't die on us, Mom. It had metastasized to her liver. The person in charge prescribed cigarettes for her lung cancer. The person in charge is a quack. And we sat there on the pinhead between being incapacitated by our fears and treating her. We just sat right there while our mother died, and in our stupor, we came to realize that we were killing our mother, bathing her in acid, stabbing at her skin, shoving tobacco down her windpipes, because we wanted the inheritance money that the person in charge told us to go for. The specialist tried to tell us this, we wouldn't hear it. She is, and she was my mom, and yours too. I am killing her, and you are too. But we are foolish children. We still seem to think that we can survive without her. And until we realize that, we will realize that we can no longer eat when we are crying, dying in a hole on the street. The climate crisis is real, and I don't need to tell you that. When we begin to see its effects, it will be subtle at first. Then the sea levels will start rising, and so begins the genocide of biodiversity. Forests become mutilated, beautiful painted landscapes are torn down, and only when the people start sweating will they realize that the blood is on their hands. And that, my friends, was 50 years ago. According to top scientists, sea levels will rise, as will temperatures, bad weather, air that kills. According to our top scientists, water will begin to dry up even as we need more of it because of the heat. And if the water dries up, many can no longer drink, so many millions die with dry tongues. And when water dries up, our crops cannot drink, so we cannot eat enough, and then we cannot eat enough. And then millions die. The gnawing of our stomachs will choke millions to death. I can go on for hours, but to get to the point, our scientists are trying to tell us that the world we are creating for ourselves, if we do not change, is modeled after the post-apocalyptic film Mad Max. As the nightmare scenario slowly thunders near, we refuse to put up our wind turbines to scare it away. We have known about climate change and pollution for 3 times as long as the world has known me. Yet I still wear a pollution mask to school, virus or not. When you had a report due or a paper to write, remember when you sat there for hours not doing anything about it? Remember how you got a bad grade or a demotion from the boss. When we are dealing with climate change, our punishment is not harsh words or a low score. No, our punishment is capital. But do you remember when you stayed up all night finishing that paper and finish it before the deadline? With the climate crisis, that is what we must do now. That is what we must do. But I do not speak to you today to announce our death sentence. No, I speak to you today to announce a new hope, our final hope. I speak to you today because I believe that we can right these past wrongs. I speak to you today because even though we are running out of time, we still have time left. I speak today because you need to use the time that you have left. And I speak to you today to tell you that our mother is dying, but if we all work together, we can still save her. Let us examine the revolution that must occur. And listen closely, for I'm about to tell you how we can all stop the climate crisis. We call ourselves the United States of America, but if we were really united towards life, then the climate crisis would be an easy issue to solve. It has been our infighting, our politics, and fickle controversies that have made the climate crisis such a big problem to deal with. If fake news was not a thing, we would not have to waste our precious time trying to teach them the truth. If big companies wanted to bring out good instead of in blood money, then we would not need to waste our time bringing down big oil. If you, the person next to you, everybody became a climate activist, we would not need to waste our time running with short staff and resources. If us climate activists didn't fight with one another for power, if we truly united under our goal, then we would never waste time fighting with others who also want to save the earth. And if and when everybody becomes united under climate activism, then we will know that our mother may live. If we stop fighting each other and if we unite under our common goal, then we will know that our mother may live, and we may be able to even call ourselves decent people again. I said earlier that I still hope. I hope that we will be able to put aside our differences in order to unite and to stay alive. I hope that one day we will be able to live without forcing other beings to die. I hope that you and you and you and you will become a climate activist. I hope that you and you and you and you will become a better climate activist. I hope that we can listen to scientists, listen to each other, and listen to our mom being wheeled out of the hospice care center. I hope that we can recycle the last automobiles. I hope that we can stop throwing away our plastic bags. I hope that we can stop mining for dark poison. Because if we do not do all of those things, our mom is as good as dead. But we still have just enough time left, and that is why I hope. Thank you.
Whoa, everyone, let's give some round of applause. Period. Yes. Okay. So we are very grateful that Luke just gave us a super duper inspiring speech. I hope that all of you feel inspired to, step up your activism and to keep on hoping that we will actually get things done. Okay. So now let me get to this. Next up we have a video wonderfully made by Anushka Parab, who is 17 years old and a junior at Centennial High School, and is on the board of the school's Green Club as an advertising liaison, and has prepared a short video on the dangerous effects that the fast fashion industry can have on the environment. So let's go.
Everyone, happy Earth Day. My name is Anushka Parab, and I'm the advertising liaison for Centennial High School's Green Club. Not only am I an environmentalist, but I'm also a fashion enthusiast. I'm always looking for ways to support the sustainable fashion movement, and today I'm going to tell you why you should too. One of the biggest contributors to mass textile waste in the world is the fast fashion industry. Global clothing production has doubled in the past 15 years, with garments being worn less and discarded quicker. 80 billion articles of clothing are globally consumed each year, 400% more than we were consuming just 2 decades ago. The increase of consumption has dangerous effects on our environment. Nearly 70 million barrels of oil are used each year to make polyester fiber, a commonly used fabric, but it takes nearly 200 years to decompose. And 20,000 liters of water are needed to produce just 1 kilogram of cotton, which is equivalent to a single t-shirt and a pair of jeans. Now, I know there aren't many ways to avoid the use of resources like water and oil in textile production, but the problem with fast fashion is the model that these companies use to make money. Fast fashion companies like H&M and Zara purposefully create clothes that fall apart quickly. Their goal is to get out as many clothes as quickly as possible. These clothes are designed to be worn a few times and then thrown out. This strategy is called planned obsolescence. The idea is to design clothes that go out of style, wear out, and become unwearable quickly, forcing consumers to buy more clothing. Not to mention that these companies barely pay their employees living wages. This clothing is barely worn at all, yet a large percentage of it ends up in landfills. The average American throws out 80 pounds of clothing per year. And you may be thinking, what if I donate all of my unused clothing? That's great. These donated clothes end up in thrift stores, which are a great way to reuse garments. However, 90% of such clothing actually ends up in textile recycling plants. And from there, this old clothing is sold to developing countries like Africa, where they can be purchased for much cheaper. While it's great to reuse old clothes, this sort of system feeds on the poor for profit rather than benefits them. So what can you do to support the sustainable fashion movement and stop the growth of fast fashion? It starts by not shopping at stores like Forever 21 and Fashion Nova and supporting ethical brands like Pact, Coton, and more. These companies make clothes that are built to last, don't overproduce, and are fair trade. But some of these stores can be a bit pricey, in which case thrifting is a great affordable option, along with buying clothes from online stores where people resell their old clothing, like Depop and Poshmark. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that we as consumers can make a difference. Happy Earth Day!
Woo. Alrighty, everyone. I think that was a very informative and well-made video. Yay. So, okay. Yeah. So next up we have Pretolia Changala, who will be performing a song. So take it away.
Hi, my name is Julia. I'm a junior at Centennial High School, and I'll be singing Dream a Little Dream of Me by Ella Fitzgerald. Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore trees. Dream a little dream of me. Say nighty night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me you miss me. While I'm alone as blue as can be. Dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I belong here. Still craving your kiss. I am longing to linger till dawn dear. Just say this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, wherever they be, dream a little dream of me. Oh, dream a little dream of me. Thank you so much.
Woo! Everyone, let's give some applause. Yay. Thank you so much for performing that beautiful song. Yay. Alrighty, friends. So now we're gonna move on to Emma Bush, who is performing Big Yellow Taxi by Joni Mitchell.
They paved paradise and put up a parking lot with a pink hotel, a boutique, and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to
tree museum. And they charge the people $25 just to see them. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. Ooh, na na na. Hey, farmer, farmer, put away that DDT. They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. With a big hotel, a boutique, and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. Ooh, na na na. They took all the trees, put them in a tree museum. And they charge the people $25 just to see them. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. Ooh, na na na. Hey, farmer, farmer, put away that DDT now. Give me spots on the apples, believe me, the birds and the bees. Please, don't it all seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. Ooh, na na na. We've got 11 years till our earth is damaged forever. We've got time to save it as long as we all work together. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. I won't let them pave my paradise to put up a parking lot. Said we won't let them pave our paradise to put up their parking lot. Thank you.
Yay, y'all. That was amazingly sung. Very great song. Very appropriate for Earth Day. And so, just give me a second. Now we have our last performance, which is a poem by Emily Hollowedel. So let's show it, y'all. Here we go. Give me 2 seconds.
What will be missed? Oh, it slides away. What will be missed? Oh, it slides away, like warm spit drooling along the lines of the earth. The blistering sun and the wind that slaps tender skin. The stench of the ocean water adrift, suspended in humid air, its salty innards tickling the very edge of the senses, much like a blade of grass to the softness of a fingertip. Flower petals soft like velvet, yet not at all the same in feeling. With a slight press of a fingernail, velvet does not wince and bleed color. There's a myriad more, yes. With eyes closed, they may be visible. A vast expanse of space, and so much that would be.
Woo, y'all. So that's all the content that we have for today. It's almost 1 o'clock, so I just want to let's give a round of applause to all of our speakers and performers and everyone who submitted their art showcasing. Ooh, yeah. So you guys can all stay tuned for our additional live streams on Thursday and Friday, both at 12 o'clock and 7 o'clock. And I know you'll gotta go to online school, so thank you all so much. And have great 50th anniversary birthday.